So in section 2.1, we were talking about feature benefit selling, which is where we described the different features of a specific product, and then we matched those with a benefit or a reason why you would want to buy the product. We're going to continue building off of that in 2.2, where we bring in the types of decisions and specific motives and how those relate to feature benefit selling. So we're going to get started first by talking about the buying motives. So buying motives are reasons that determine the benefits of a product. And there are three types of buying motives. The first is a rational motive. The second is an emotional motive. And the third is a patronage motive. And we're going to break each of these motives down, and then we'll go through an example of how that motive, again, determines the benefit you could get of a product in that feature benefit chart we practiced last time. So rational motives are conscious, logical reasons that you would purchase a good or a service. These are very objective things. They're not necessarily tied to your feelings or your emotions at all, because those are going to be, guess what, emotional motives. So for example, the types of rational motives would be the dependability of a product. So I might buy something because it's super dependable. For example, I might buy a four-wheel drive vehicle because I live in Minnesota and in the winter I need four-wheel drive. That's a logical reason or a rational reason that I would want to buy that product. I might buy a product depending on the price. That's very logical. It's very objective. For instance, if I potentially have a lower income, maybe I'm buying the generic brand of something. Let's say I make a crap ton of money. Maybe I can buy the name brand. Maybe I can buy the luxury version. Another type of rational motive could be the health or safety of a product that it would offer. So for example, if I live in a neighborhood and there's been a string of recent robberies of people stealing Amazon packages off the porch, maybe I decide to get a Ring doorbell or a security system because logically that would make me feel safer. So rational motives, again, conscious, logical reasons that you would buy something. This is in direct opposition to those emotional motives, which is when you purchase something based on the feeling that the product gives you. It's very subjective. So for example, your purchase could give you recognition or approval. It makes you feel good, potentially when you buy a name brand or you buy something that's trending. So if I go out right now and I buy a scrunchie, that makes me feel really good because that's like the coolest thing to wear, and all of a sudden I feel cool. That's tied to my emotions. An emotional motive might come from the fact that you feel love from the purchase of an item. So maybe you're going to go buy someone jewelry or flowers or a specific gift, and either giving or receiving that makes you feel love. Think of all those Valentine's Day purchases or on anniversaries or even sometimes birthdays. Those are usually tied to emotional motives. The other thing that could be an emotional motive could be the appearance of a product. So perhaps your favorite color is green and you always buy green shirts because you're like, yes, this is my favorite color. This makes me feel great. Or maybe you really, really like the logo or a brand. Or maybe you're like, yeah, this is super in style right now. So those emotional motives we purchase based on feelings that the product gives us when we use it. The last type of motive is a patronage motive, and this is purchasing something based on your brand or your store loyalty. So for example, I love Puffs Plus lotion for some reason. I think it's the best type of Kleenex brand, so that's the only type of Kleenex I'm gonna buy. Or maybe I am a Coke person, so I always buy Coke. Maybe I'm a Pepsi person. Maybe I am super into Ford, so I would always buy Ford. Or maybe I'm a Chevy person. The store examples for me would be Target. Like, I love the store Target, so I'm going to go to Target and buy something there instead of Walmart. Or maybe I'm super loyal to a business that's owned by a family friend. So these are purchases that you make based on the fact that you are loyal to that brand or potentially that specific store or store owner. So where does this fit in our personal selling process? Actually, it's going to be the very first thing we do. So it's kind of weird that we're doing this in lesson 2 too, but bear with me. The first thing we have to figure out is why the heck are they motivated, or why the heck do they want to even buy the product? Once we figure out why they're buying the product, we can list all the specific features that match those motives. And then again, once we list the features, we can explain the benefits. So the feature benefits is what we did in the last unit. That's actually going to come after we determine their buying motives. So let's practice going through the whole personal selling process by working through the decision-making process of buying a car. So again, the very first thing I'm going to do is determine my buying motives. What are my reasons that I would want to buy the car? I might have rational reasons, and remember, those are the conscious, logical reasons I would want to buy the car. I might have emotional reasons I would want to buy the car. Those are tied to my feelings. And I might have patronage reasons that I would want to buy the car, and that could be tied to some brand or store loyalty. So let's say I'm going out and I'm buying a car. I'm going to first identify the rational reasons, those logical reasons I would buy the car. So I might buy a car because I need something that's dependable. I might buy a car based on its safety rating, and I might buy a car based on its type of gas mileage. Those are very logical reasons that I could argue buying a specific type of car over another one. I might have some emotional reasons that I would pick out a specific car. So maybe the appearance of a car would sway which one I bought. Maybe the pride that I would get from buying a specific type of car would sway the type of car I buy. Or maybe the fact that I could buy a certain luxury vehicle would also motivate me to buy one car over another. And then patronage motives, those are purchasing based on a specific brand or store loyalty. So if I've always bought Toyota, that would be an example of a patronage motive. So once we have the reasons why we want to buy, we're going to identify the features, and then we're going to say the benefit that those features give me based off of why you wanted to buy it in terms of your motive. So first I'll list the basic feature for my product, and basic features, remember, are the intended use. So the intended use of a car is to transport people. Now I'm going to talk about the benefits that I get from the basic feature, and then I match that to any of the buying motives. So I can match the benefit to either the rational, emotional, or patronage motive. So it's a great thing to be able to transport people safely and cheaply to work or daycare. And this ties into their rational motives because they were looking for something that was dependable, had a good safety rating, and got good gas mileage. So the basic concept of buying this specific car matches their rational reasons for wanting to buy it. Next up, I could list those physical attributes. These were things like color, price, fabric, if it's a food, maybe the flavors, certain features really that when you look at it, what are the physical things you see? So if I'm looking at the car I currently own, I see that it has 4 doors, it's a gold color, it has 4-wheel drive, cost about $40,000. Why do I care about those physical attributes, and how does it help the performance of my car? Well, it helps the performance, the fact that it has 4 doors because it fits multiple people. The fact that it has 4-wheel drive makes it good in the winter. The fact that it's $40,000 helps because that's within my budget. Why do I care? 4 doors and fitting multiple people is great for a family vehicle. Now I take those pieces and I bring it back to the specific buying motives. Okay, well, I needed a vehicle that was dependable because I'm transporting my family around. I needed a vehicle that had a good safety rating because I'm transporting my family. So that attribute fit into those rational motives. Why do I care that it's good in the winter? Because I live in Minnesota. Again, fits in with those rational things. Why do I care that it's within my budget? Because we already have money saved for it. Benefits really matched back with my rational motives for wanting to buy this specific car. Next up, I'm going to talk about extended attributes. These are reasons that the price of this car might be different than another car. So this car is maybe more expensive because it has the luxury package. So it had the double sunroof, it had the heated seats, it had the remote start, it had the built-in navigation system. How does this help the performance of the car? It's all those extra bells and whistles. Why do I care? I like seeing outside, so the 2 sunroofs is awesome. This ties back into those emotional things where I was talking about, ooh, having this luxury package makes me feel really good. I have a lot of pride that I can afford this fancy car. Or, wow, I really like the way this looks because gold is my favorite color and because it looks super fancy. Or, why do I care? Well, it's really cold in Minnesota, so the heated seats is super nice. Again, I tie that back to the buying motive of, wow, it makes me feel nice and warm and cozy when I'm able to turn my heated seat on or have remote start in the winter. And let's say that I get lost a lot. It's a really good thing that I might have a navigation system. And that, again, could go back to my rational motives, and it could go back to the fact that I feel safer when I have a navigation system in case I do get lost. So we've tied in the reasons I want to buy it, so my buying motives, into the specific features that car would give me and the benefits from those features. So they all work together when you're trying to sell an item. So take this time to pick a product that you would maybe go out and decide to buy, and try to think of rational, emotional, and patronage reasons why you would buy that product. And then practice listing out its basic, physical, and extended features and the benefits that you would gain from those features. So the last thing that I want to tie in are the types of decision making that might happen. Because if you know your buying motives or reasons you want to buy, and you can list off the specific features of a product and what benefit you would gain, you still are in the process of making a decision. And based on the type of decision you make, you might identify different motives, or you might highlight specific features or benefits. So there are 3 types of decisions that you might make. Would be either an extensive decision, a limited decision, or a routine decision. And we're just going to go through this matrix talking about what that decision looks like. So extensive decisions are decisions that you have little to no previous experience making. They're typically high risk and a very expensive purchase, or something that you would need lots and lots of information for. So this could be when you are buying a car, if you're buying a house, or maybe if you're trying to decide what job you should do. These are going to take lots and lots of time. You're going to need a lot of information. You're going to have to identify a lot of different motives, a lot of different features, and match those up to a lot of different benefits. Limited decisions are ones that you have maybe purchased 1 to 2 times before. They're moderate risk, and you kind of need some information, but not a whole lot. So some examples of purchases that are considered limited purchases would be if you're choosing clothes, or maybe an electronic or an appliance, potentially where to go on vacation. Those are things where you're going to have buying motives and you're going to look at features, but you don't need to spend hours upon hours upon hours listing out every single feature and its pros or cons. Now, routine is the last type of decision making. These are things that you've bought lots. You buy them regularly. They're very low risk. They're usually pretty cheap or inexpensive, and you don't need a ton of information about them. These are things you're buying all the time. So this could be your groceries. This could be your laundry detergent. This could be your shampoo. This could be when you're filling up with gas. It's pretty quick decision that you're going to make, so you don't need to spend all this time delving into your buying motives and your features and your benefits, because you've already thought through that the billions of other times you've bought it. So just to review, we have a couple questions. The first one says, reasons to purchase based on feelings, beliefs, attitudes are what type of motives? These are our emotional motives. Patronage motives are based on brand loyalty. This is true. They are also based on loyalty to a specific store or maybe a store owner. Extensive decision-making is used for purchases that are made frequently and do not require much thought. Those are routine decisions that you're making. Extensive take a lot of time. They're usually pretty high risk and more expensive purchases. Marketers will have the greatest opportunity to explain the benefits of their products and services and how they can satisfy the customer's needs and wants when customers use blank decision-making. So when customers use extensive decision-making, they're spending lots and lots of time. So you as the marketer or you as the salesman can spend a lot of time describing it because there's a lot of risk involved. There's a lot of thought involved. So extensive decisions work well with our features and benefits.